What do you know? The Houston Astros get 9 hits, but they only score 1 run. We're going to talk about this on the latest edition of Locked On Astros.
Buenos días, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talkstros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok, at Stros411 on X and on Facebook, and back to the bullpen on X, Instagram, on iHeartRadio, and YouTube, where, look, I'm always positive, always Stros positive. I hate it when the Astros don't score enough runs to win.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go ahead and check us out. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. So I think a lot of people were probably betting on maybe Alvarez being the big power guy this year. He's kind of had a little power outage this year, even though he's kind of near the top in terms of RBIs. But the batting average is not Alvarez-like. The OPS is not Alvarez-like. And now Alvarez is not even in the lineup. And Brett, I don't know if you know this, but this lineup today was all right-handed for the first time since 2005.
Wow.
Can you guess the guys that were in that lineup?
Oh, you're talking about Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell, Brad Ausmus. Well, would Lance Bregman be in there? Because he's a switch hitter.
He might have been switch hitter that day because maybe
he must have batted right. They're facing, Richard Hidalgo, Carlos Lee.
Don't forget about legend Jason Lane.
That's right. Jason Lane was a baller, man. Jason Lane had some solid years. I can't remember all of the Astros.
Like Bogar, I would say Bogar was probably a shortstop back then.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, yeah. So that's insane. That's a long time. And just getting the news that Yordan Alvarez is out and back in Houston and on the IL, it's just like, that is the storyline of this season so far. It is just no offense whatsoever. Yes, Mike Lamb. But, look, the show must go on, right? You've got to figure out a way to get these guys home. How do you collect 9 hits, only 1 extra base hit, and only score 1 run?
Yeah, before we get into today's game, before we get into what the Astros need to do next, let's talk about Mr. Alvarez, because as of Sunday, we were told by Mr. Espada, hey, don't worry about it. Alvarez is fine. He's doing a lot better. Everything's good. We're hoping to get him back by the end of the week or something. But that's what we heard on Sunday. But I'm not saying that he was lying to us, but maybe they're just trying to play it safe. And Espada said this guy has been such a good hitter, and the way he uses his hands, we just have to make sure it isn't prolonged and gets to a point where he misses a long period of time. So keep in mind, Brett, this is backdated to May 3rd. So it's not like it's going to be 15 days from right now, but it is a situation where you're going to be without one of your big guys, a left-handed stick, one of your only left-handers in the lineup. We'll talk about who's going to replace him, but this is a big loss for the Houston Astros. Yes, he has a 670 OPS in April, and overall he's struggled 638 overall, but he just hasn't been the same guy. But he was showing some signs, and I think that he has 7 extra base hits overall this season. That's just not Alvarez. There had to be something going on with his hand, maybe more than we were led to believe, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just reaching.
It just seems like every year there's something that comes up. something that comes up like this that knocks him out for a little while. And he's had a hand issue before. You just wonder what it is in his swing. Is it his grip where he holds the bat? I mean, so this isn't something that is new or foreign to Yordan Alvarez. The thing that still gets me is Espada said it had been bothering him for a few days. And I still don't understand. Of course, obviously, I've never played at this level. And maybe Mike Stanton at some point later this evening or sometime this week can clarify to me why major league players choose to play through pain like this. Not just pain. Like, I get playing through pain. I get, being there for your team and not wanting to sit out. I get that. But when it's your hands and you're the DH and you're not really playing the outfield, what is it about trying to play through it that you think is going to get better? When your muscles are sore, when you're, if you're a runner and you have shin splints, the diagnosis isn't to go run it off. The diagnosis is to rest. And that's the only remedy. And I just don't get it. I mean, we obviously knew something was going on because the power wasn't there. And you just wonder if is it a few days or was it longer than that? Because I'm sorry, the Houston Astros have given us a lot of speculation to throw out there because of their lack of transparency. We went through the whole fiasco of, the HIPAA laws that we heard from all the BS from Dusty. And they just play coy too much. Like, they act like there's some top secret spy from a foreign dignitary trying to steal their secrets. And you just need to be forthcoming. The athletes need to be upfront with what the hell's going on, because it's frustrating, Eric. This offense is underwhelming. I mean, they have scored 3 runs or fewer in 20 of their 34 games. That's not getting it done. You know what the Chicago Cubs have done with Kyle Tucker? 3 home runs in 10 games. 10 games, they've hit 3 home runs. 3 different players have hit home runs, and their offense is on fire. Our pitchers, if our hitters match the pitcher's energy and produced, this team would have maybe 9 or 10 losses total. I mean, that's how good we could be.
Well, just ask Mickey Mantle. He played a lot with a lot of injuries throughout his career. And these guys are competitors. We saw Chad Qualls. He pitched with a literal arm injury for about 2 weeks before he finally said something. And then they put him on IL. Granted, that was a while back. But Joe Espada did kind of address it. He said maybe it has something to do with the hand. I'm not going to speak for Yordan. I know that he hasn't been a guy in Kansas City. He hits a ball 400 and something feet and then just doesn't feel comfortable. We want to just make sure he feels comfortable and he's back to 100% and keeps him in the lineup for the long haul. So, Brett, the answer to your question is comfortable. He wants them to be comfortable.
Well, so that's an actual quote. He said He doesn't know if it's the hand or not.
Well, he knows it. Well, he was saying the struggles.
If he's getting imaging on his hand, it's definitely playing into the struggles at the plate. I'm sorry.
Well, he's saying the whole season, Brett. I think is what he's saying.
It's not his foot. It's not his back. It's not his neck. He didn't sleep on a bad pillow. Okay. This team has got the craziest injuries, and it's infuriating sometimes. I'm sorry, Joe Espada. Just say what it is. He's getting imaging on his hand because he can't hit the ball at full power. Yes, it is because of his hand. I mean, well, he's coughing a lot, but we're not sure if he has a sore throat. What? Like, what are we doing here? And who do we replace him with? Do you know who came up to help out the team?
Yeah, we'll talk about that next on the Locked On Astros podcast.
Ever check your bank account and wonder where did all the money go? Well, between dining out and online shopping, entertainment, it's easy to lose track. Well, with Monarch Money, they come in as your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending all in one place and stop just managing your money, but start building wealth. You'll realize just how much you're spending on food delivery and budget smarter. You can also forget about juggling multiple apps. It's all in one place. You can plan long-term goals. You can check your finances, track spending, and managing your money with your partner is smoother and better than before. You can track shared and personal accounts. So take control of your finances today at Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Go there today.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Win or lose, Brett and I will be here for you all season, and we'll be here to talk to you about all the Astros moves, everything that goes on, and we'll try to get to the why, the how, and what the heck is going on with this Houston team. Because at this point, it seems like they're going to be what they are, a 500 team. They are now 17-17 after losing 2 straight games. And the game in Chicago, that was a pathetic loss. This loss was a little bit more, I don't want to say understanding. You got 9 hits. You only allowed 3 runs until the 8th inning, and then they got 2 more runs. But you expect that if you only give up 3 runs, you would go ahead and score some runs. But the runs are nothing's happening. And so, who is the great savior for Alvarez being on the IL? It is Cesar Salazar. Cesar Salazar. Granted, when he's been up with the Astros, he has had some success. We saw him with some good home runs and some good at-bats in spring training, but I don't get this wrong. He is not going to be the everyday option at DH. They're going to do probably a platoon. You're going to see DeZenzo. Probably you're going to see some Caratini, but this opens the option for Caratini to play a lot more DH.
Yeah, look, Cesar Salazar can hit, like you said, and I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to putting him in as catcher either. I wouldn't be opposed to just getting his bat in the lineup. And look, when you look at this offense from top to bottom, you've got to get it from somewhere. And Trevor Howard's in here. He brings up a good point. He said Jake Myers, in all caps, leads the team in OPS with a $214 million payroll. That is alarming. When Jake Myers is your highest OPS, yes, that is a problem. No offense to Jake Myers, but Jake Myers, dude, like the stuff he did the other day, he became the 4th player in MLB history to ever record 13 or more total bases while batting in the 9-hole. Eric, he was the first player in franchise history to tally 13 total bases while batting 9th. He was the first Astro to record 4 extra base hits in the 9-hole. He is your offensive MVP right now. Oh, and Jeremy Pena is hot. I mean, Jeremy Pena's hit what? He's hit safely in his last 8 games. He got a hit tonight. He was hitting 382 coming into the game. But you know what? This is all great. These are all great
Brett,
numbers.
it's actually better. Pena has hit safely in 23 of his last 24 games.
Well, okay. So my point, you've got a couple guys that are hitting well, but the team as a whole sucks offensively. Christian Walker, he got a hit. He got on base. Good job, Christian. But it was a single. That was it. This guy needs a hit for power. This is frustrating. At what point do we worry about Christian Walker? At what point do we stop saying, Christian Walker, guess what? You have to adjust at some point. You can't just be like, well, I've never hit in the National League before, or I've never hit in the American League. He faced a National League team tonight, the Brewers. He should be familiar with them. So, look, man, it's frustrating because we've seen what this team is capable of. We know what they have in them, but Diaz isn't getting it done. Paredes, for the most part, isn't getting it done. Altuve is kind of started to disappear. I mean, it is just really frustrating to watch. And replacing Alvarez at this point, I replace him with anybody because Alvarez wasn't doing anything. So hopefully we can go, Hail Caesar, and we can start some kind of rally around, Cesar Salazar.
Yeah, but for the first time in Alvarez's career, we can say that he is a below average player. He has an OPS plus of 86. An average MLB player has a 100 OPS plus. He's below that. He's got an OPS of 646, slugging percentage of 340, on base percentage of 306. That's a positive. He is getting on base. He does have the 18 RBIs. He has 1 stolen base, 7 runs, 210 batting average, 3 home runs, 21 hits, and 100 at bats. So he has a negative 0.4 WAR. So replacing those numbers is not going to be hard because you can find a lot of players that can replace those numbers. But replacing what Alvarez does, I mean, he is that imposing no matter what type of season he's having. He's that left-handed bat that other teams, when they come to town or the Astros go to town, they're always thinking, oh no, is this the series that Alvarez is going to break out and hit 4 home runs against us and we're going to get swept by the Houston Astros? That's what scares other teams to death. Every time they get him out, even with him struggling as much as they're doing, they're still happy and relieved every time he gets out because this guy is a game changer. So yeah, you can replace his 2025 stats, but you can't replace that other stuff.
Oh no, I mean you never can, especially when he has a proven history that he does. But to be at 500, look, don't sound the alarm. I'm not saying the season is over. This is the American League West. If this was the National League West, I'd be like, maybe you need to start being a lot worried about this team because I don't see many other teams like switching it up on us and becoming dominant. I mean, Seattle's playing the Athletics right now. It's 1-0. Sacramento, and Seattle has been one of the best offenses lately. They've been hitting the cover off the ball. So it's a wide open AL West. Let's take our druthers. Let's take our lumps now. Let's get Yordan healthy. But man, when he comes back, dude, he's got to hit. But honestly, whether he's in there or not, Christian Walker's he's got to crawl out of this hole. He looks bad. Yiner still is too inconsistent for my liking. Cam Smith's bat needs to wake up. I mean, he needs to do better offensively. They also need Cam Smith in there all the time. I wonder if I would like to see Cam Smith in center field. I would like to see DeCenzo in right field. Heck, put Jake in left. I don't care. I would like to see Jake, DeCenzo, and Cam all in the outfield at the same time. Put DeCenzo in left, Cam in right, and Jake in center field. And then if those guys can all start hitting, DeCenzo hit that home run in Chicago. There's a lot of potential here. They just got to do it. David says the team is falling apart. I don't think they're falling apart. I just think they're struggling mentally right now. And I think they're going to continue to struggle offensively until they figure out what they need to do to fix it.
I know people don't want us to keep on bringing this up, but Alex Bregman was a team leader. And now that he's not on this team, you got to have somebody step up. Altuve's been a leader, but I don't think he was the same leader that Bregman was. Well, I think what you're going to see Pena to step up that leadership role. That's what Espada wanted in the offseason.
Yeah. Okay.
I think with him leading off, I think you're going to see his role kind of grow a little bit in terms of leadership, but it's going to take some time. But you're going to go through some bumps. And we saw this to start at the beginning of last season, but they found their way. And then once they found their way, they're able to battle back to the playoffs. Granted, it wasn't a great showing in the playoffs, but they battled back. And I think this team will figure things out. Are they going to be the same team they were in the past? I'm not sure. But Brett, before we go to break, I do want to ask if you can pick one player to be your pick to click to replace Alvarez, who is it going to be?
To replace Alvarez?
For right now.
For right now? At DH?
Yeah.
DeCenzo.
Yeah, that's who I was going to go with. DeCenzo is probably a guy that's going to benefit. If not DeCenzo playing DH, Altuve playing a little bit more DH like he did today. And so, guys, we're going to continue this discussion on the Locked On Astros podcast. Go and make his first listen, Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check us out.
There's nothing better than catching an MLB game live, the crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of that ballpark food. And if you're looking to go to a game last minute, Game Time Tickets makes it easier than ever before. The last minute deals, all-in-one pricing, and lowest price guaranteed. Game Time takes the stress out of buying MLB tickets. I've told you I've used them before. Ticket prices drop as Game Time gets closer, meaning you can score an incredible deal. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On. And for the upcoming series versus the Cincinnati Reds, you can get your needs met by unbeatable prices, by the Game Time Picks feature, top discounts, and you know that I love the seat preview. You'll love it too. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. Go and check out Michael Connor and the Locked On Astros podcast as well. Go and check out Locked On Fantasy Baseball for whatever fantasy advice you need. But Brett, I think we're all looking to see what's next. We know runs are kind of scarce for the Astros this year. We thought that the Astros were struggling offensively last year, but they're still at the top in terms of hitting. I know a lot of people will point to their runners in scoring position stats last year, but it was not bad. It was 6th in baseball last year. What they struggled with was just late in game and in clutch situations. Yeah. And so what we're seeing right now is a total power outage. And when you're not hitting those big home runs, you're not getting those big extra base hits, you're not scoring a bunch of runs, and you're not being consistent, that puts a lot of pressure on your pitching staff to be perfect. And we see Ronel Blanco go out there on a regular basis. Today would have been a perfect game for him. 6 innings, 3 earned runs. This is a quality start. And unfortunately, he's saddled with the loss.
Yeah, he was saddled with the loss, and he's a victim of his own team's lack of success. And, you know, that's why this is a team game. It happens whether it's on the mound or in the box. You have to get the job done. When you get 9 hits, you expect to score more than 1 run. I remember my dad telling us growing up playing baseball. He was my baseball coach pretty much every year I played. And he said, you should have a run for every hit that you have. And I always thought that sounded ridiculous. But what my dad was getting at was, if you have 3 or 4 hits, you should have 3 or 4 runs, meaning you're getting hits. Those hits behind the guys that are on base are bringing those guys home. And so if you're getting hits, 9, 10, 11 hits, and you're not getting the runs, then it's broken. I mean, look, we can be 6th or 5th or 3rd in the league in hitting. I don't care about our average. I want to know, what are we doing production-wise once the guys get on base? I mean, you saw grounding into double plays. They had the bases loaded with 1 out tonight. Could have broken the game open. Could have won this game 6-5. Could have easily pushed this to extra innings. I mean, it was just one of those frustrating games. Now, the Astros historically don't play well in Milwaukee, but that shouldn't matter tonight. What matters is the lack of production that you produced tonight. Again, the 9 hits, it's so infuriating to hear that. And if you think you're frustrated, imagine the Astros going out there. They didn't fly to Milwaukee to lose. They flew to Milwaukee to come up here and win a game. And, you know, Paredes had a multi-hit game, but I mean, they were 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They left 8 on base. You want to be better. You need to be better. And until they start stringing some stuff together, you're going to continue to see this trend take shape. But against Milwaukee, a team that's, well, they're 500 themselves, they're still a solid National League team there in the Central.
I remember talking to Jeremy Booth about why a team can get 10 hits and only score 1 run. And he said it's the makeup of the lineup, and it's just you're not putting the right hitters in the right position. Well, in the situation that Astros have right now, I think it's more they don't have the right bats in there, and the hitters that they went out and got, they're just not producing at the moment. And so at some point, everything's going to come back to where it should be. Christian Walker, I don't think, is Jose Abreu. If he reverts back to Jose Abreu, then maybe I'll take my crow on that. But I just think that he is a much better hitter. We've seen the exit velocity from his outs are pretty hard at times. But I think that he's got some more coming. I think that this experiment with Jose Altuve in left field, is this wearing him out? Is this becoming a distraction to him? So is that an issue? I know early on in the season it was not, but as we go deeper into the season, is that could become an issue for him? So these are some of the factors that you need to look at. But you have the double plays, you have the strikeouts. Strikeouts are up this year. This is a team that you relied on with Alex Bregman and all these guys that didn't strike out. Now, all of a sudden, you have these young guys, the Cam Smiths. You have a lot of guys that do strike out a lot. And so you have them all not making contact, not moving the runners up, and not getting runners in scoring position. And so this is a product of the players you have on your team right now.
No, right. And we knew that getting Walker, you had a higher strikeout total. Paredes has a good eye, one of the best guys to get on base and work around pitches. And look, I told everybody, if Alex goes to Boston, he's going to have an MVP year. What is he doing, Eric? 317, 979 OPS, 8 home runs, 44 hits already, and 139 at bats. He's just simply out there getting it done and raking. I mean, Kyle Tucker's doing the same thing. I mean, why am I talking about this? Because these are guys that would be headlining this team. Now, my question is, would they be hitting as well here as they are there? I don't know. But Kyle Tucker's got 9 home runs, hitting 284 with a 953 OPS. In their lineup, when you listen to the Cubs talk, they feel like whether they're batting first, third, or seventh, they're protected because everybody's hitting. That's the exact opposite antithesis of what's going on in Houston. And until everybody starts getting in situations where they're protecting each other, when the guy gets on base, you're scoring them and you become a real threat. Things you're just going to have to sputter along. You're just going to have to keep putting one foot in front of the other to make sure that you're not tripping over your own feet. And that's what they're doing. They're tripping over their own feet every single time.
Yeah, and that puts a lot of pressure on the pitching to be perfect. And we've seen even McCullers, he didn't pitch terrible. He wasn't pinpoint with his command, but he still kept the White Sox scoreless. Now the rain came and then the runs came in, but you've seen the bullpen be pretty productive. The bullpen let you down a little bit today, but it didn't matter at that point because the damage was already done early in the game when Blanco gave up the 3 runs in the first 6 innings. And so Blanco went out there, did his job. The pitching overall has done its job. It's just a matter of the offense just being a little bit more consistent. And if Alvarez going to the IL will help him get right and maybe reset his season and maybe clear his head and maybe he come back, get a fresh start. Maybe that's the best thing to happen for the Houston Astros. I would argue that.
Yeah, look, Yordan needs to snap out of it when he comes back. He just, like you said, he needs to hit reset, focus a mechanism, kind of like the Perfect Game movie with Kevin Costner. But, I mean, look, this is a baseball season. That is 162 games. It's not 80 games. It's not 50 games. Right. It's not 60 games. So, cool your jets, fans. It's going to be okay. We are not at the end of the road. We're not eliminated from the playoffs just yet. We still got quite a few months to go, and things could turn around. Look, the Mariners in the Athletics are playing the best baseball in the West. Even at that, they don't have this insurmountable lead. We are third at 17-17. The Athletics are 19-16, and the Mariners are 20-13. It's not like everybody's playing their best ball, but the Astros had turned it around. They were playing some hot baseball. Now they're 4-6 in their last 10. They've got to decide to wake up offensively. Hopefully they come out tomorrow. Yeah,
it's ebbs and flows. You got to go with the ebbs and flows.
So tomorrow night, the over-under on runs, if it's 8, I'm going to go over just because that's what the Astros would do. Right?
Yeah.
They score 1 run tonight. They score 8 runs tomorrow night. Why not?
Well, Wisniewski comes back to rotation tomorrow against Dan. Is it Dan? No, Chad Patrick. I was thinking of the talk show guy, but Chad Patrick, who's got a pretty good ERA on the season. So this could be interesting matchup to see what happens. But the Astros just need to play better offensively, and then the pitching is doing its job overall. I mean, you can't keep the other team scoreless the entire game. You just got to score some runs. And guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Go Stros.